Welcome back, everyone. You know what we do here, right? We're going deep, really deep into a single day in the markets. Today, it's December 10th, 2024. Buckle up, because we've got a lot to unpack. Acquisitions, stock swings, the whole shebang. Let's get to it.
Yeah, you know what I find really interesting about focusing on just one day? It's like a snapshot. It shows you exactly what investors are thinking and how the market's working, all at once. All those forces right there.
Totally. Okay, so picture this. Big picture first. The major indexes, they weren't all on the same page this day. The S&P 500, it dipped just a tiny bit, closing at 6,053. That's down 0.06%. Dow Jones, same story basically. Ended at 44,240, down 0.11%. But hold on, things are about to get interesting. Because the Nasdaq, that actually climbed, gaining 0.2%, closed at 19,837. And then you've got the Russell 2000, that's the one that tracks the smaller companies. That one took a tumble, I'm telling you, 0.33% down to 2,384.
The Nasdaq, though, that's what really jumps out at me. The rest of the market, not so sure what to do, but tech's still going strong. That tells you something, right?
Yeah, like people are still betting big on tech's future. Something to think about, for sure. But speaking of action, we had a bunch of companies going on shopping sprees. Acquisitions galore, Fintech first. MoneyLion got snapped up by Gen Digital. Big news, MoneyLion's stock skyrocketed. Makes you wonder, what does Gen Digital see that maybe the rest of us missed?
Well, Gen Digital, they've got this thing for cybersecurity and privacy companies. Buy them up, make them bigger. That's their MO. So this tells me they see something in MoneyLion that fits right in. Maybe they're thinking, hey, let's give people all these services in one place. Money stuff, security, the whole 9 yards.
Ah, so it's not just about the tech itself, it's how it all fits together, like a puzzle. That's a good point. Okay, but Fintech wasn't the only game in town. Up north, on the TSX Venture Exchange, we had Borealis Mining. They decided to buy up Gold Bull Resources, another company on that same exchange. So we're talking mining now.
Right, the TSX Venture Exchange, quick reminder, that's the Canadian one, lots of up-and-coming companies. So, Borealis. They're probably thinking more resources, bigger footprint in the gold market. Makes sense. Gold's a hot commodity, but it's also a crowded market. Got to be strategic.
So even the old school industries, they got to keep up, right?
Interesting. But hold on, we can't forget about blockchain. Remember Black Clouds, Inc.? They went and acquired ZEUS Blockchain Partners. Boom. Makes you think blockchain's not just hype anymore, huh? It's getting serious.
Yeah, it feels like we're past the what is blockchain phase. Now it's all about, okay, how do we actually use this thing?
Exactly. Now buckle up, because this next one is a real head scratcher. Oracle. They report earnings, right? Positive. And they're saying, hey, next quarter's going to be great. Revenue's going up 7-9%. But then their stock in pre-market trading tanks 7.5%. What?
Yeah.
No, pre-market trading. That's like the warm-up before the market opens. And a 7.5% drop. That's a bad omen, especially when the news seems so good. What gives? Yeah, you got to wonder. Sometimes the market does stuff that just doesn't make sense. Now, the analysts, they were mostly positive about Oracle. Cloud computing, that's their game, and that's booming. But maybe, just maybe, there was something in that report, some little detail that spooked investors. Got to dig deeper.
So maybe it wasn't just like a knee-jerk reaction. Maybe there's something more there, something we haven't seen yet. Definitely worth another look.
Agreed. We got to read between the lines sometimes, Headlines don't always tell the whole story. Yeah, it's like you think you know what's going on, but there's always more to the story. Speaking of stories, let's talk big picture for a sec. What about the market sectors? December 10th, it gave us a peek into what's happening in tech, energy, finance, the whole deal.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm really curious to get your take on all that. I mean, tech, we already saw how the Nasdaq held up pretty well, and even Oracle, stock dip aside, that cloud computing thing, that seems like it's got legs, right?
For sure. Oracle, they're all about the cloud, and businesses need that. Digital transformation, everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, one day stock price, it doesn't change the fact that they're in a good spot.
It's a good reminder, right? Don't get too caught up in the short-term ups and downs. Gotta look at the long game. Speaking of long game, how about energy? Sustainability, it's not just a buzzword anymore. It's like the main event.
Oh yeah, energy's changing big time. Investors, they're seeing the future, and it's green. Solar, wind, all those clean energy companies, they're the hot tickets now. And that's just going to keep going.
Makes you think, what are the big oil companies going to do? Adapt or die, right?
Right. Some of them, they're getting it. They're putting money into renewables, trying to change with the times. Others, still clinging to the old ways. We'll see who wins that bet. But one thing's for sure, change is coming.
And then there's finance. Always evolving, right? New tech, new rules, always something. Fintech's exploding, that's for sure. But what about the big banks, the old guard? They hanging in there.
You know, it's interesting. It's not so much a battle anymore. It's more like the old guards and the new kids, they're starting to work together. Banks, they've got the customers, the experience. Fintechs, they've got the agility, the new ideas. It's a good combo.
Ah, so it's like a team up. Cool, but okay, gotta zoom out again for a second. Global perspective, right? What happens in the U.S. doesn't stay in the U.S. The whole world's watching.
Oh, yeah, totally. Everything's connected. Remember those mining acquisitions? Those could shake up the whole supply chain globally.
And tech, forget about it. AI, blockchain, all that. It's moving so fast here in the U.S., but the whole world's trying to keep up.
Exactly. You got to think globally. Even if you're investing locally, it's all one big system.
Through that. Okay, before we move on, a couple other things worth mentioning from December 10th. AIG, the insurance giant, they sold off a chunk of their stake in Corebridge to Nippon Life, a Japanese company, $3.8 billion.
Wow, that's a big deal. It's part of this trend we're seeing. Companies getting leaner, focusing on what they're good at. Kind of like, okay, this isn't really our core business anymore. Time to let it go. Smart move.
It's like decluttering your portfolio, right? Get rid of the stuff that's just taking up space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even the big guys got to stay sharp.
And then how about this? American Airlines teamed up with Citi. They're launching a new credit card. Airlines, they've had a rough time lately, so this makes sense. Get some cash flow, keep those customers happy.
Yeah, the travel rewards game is intense. Every airline wants you to use their card, fly their planes.
Got to give the people what they want, right? Okay, this one made me smile. Movie theaters. They actually had a good weekend thanks to those big new releases. Wicked, Gladiator 2, Moana 2. People actually left their couches.
That's great news. Streaming's been killing it, but
Yep.
maybe people still miss the big screen experience.
Yeah. It's like sometimes you just got to go big, right? And last but not least, remember Big Lots. They went bankrupt. Sad story. But Ollie's Bargain Outlet. They're like, hey, opportunity. Huh. They're snapping up those empty Big Lot stores, expanding like crazy. Smart move.
It's all about being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Ollie's, they saw the gap and they went for it.
So, big picture, all these events from December 10th, what does it all tell us? What are the key takeaways here?
Well, one thing's for sure. The markets, they're always moving. Companies are buying, selling, partnering, always trying to stay one step ahead.
It's like a constant game of chess, right? Gotta be thinking several moves ahead.
It's wild, right? And it means if you want to win, you got to stay informed. Got to know what's happening, see the trends. Doesn't matter if you're investing, running a business, or just trying to understand what's going on in the world.
Totally. Knowledge is power, right?
Absolutely. Another thing, and this is important, don't freak out over every little stock move. Remember Oracle. One day it's down, but long term they're probably fine. Look at the fundamentals, the big picture.
Don't get lost in the weeds, right? See the forest for the trees.
Exactly. And one last thing, never forget the global picture. Like we said, the U.S. isn't alone. Stuff happening in other countries, it affects us too. Supply chains, tech, everything's connected.
It's a big, messy, interconnected world out there.
You got it. Now, one thing to keep in mind, even with all the data, all the analysis, there's still a lot we don't know. Nobody's got a crystal ball.
Right, right. It's not about predicting the future perfectly. It's about making the best decisions you can with the information you have. And that's what we try to do here, right? Give you the tools to navigate this crazy world.
Exactly. We're not telling you what to do. We're helping you figure it out for yourself.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into December 10th, 2024, one last thought to chew on. All those companies, all those trends, who do you think comes out on top in the next 5 years? Winners and losers, who are they going to be?
That's a tough one. No easy answers. But hey, that's what makes it interesting, right? Figure it out.
Yeah. Exactly. The future's not set in stone. Anything can happen. And that's what makes it so exciting to watch. Well, folks, that's a wrap for today. Hope you enjoyed this deep dive. And remember, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep diving deep. We'll see you next time.